Today I'm in the hometown of a Geordie legend, born and raised here right on the banks of the River Tyne. Today he's a global multi-award winning indie rock star. You might have heard of him. He's called Sam Fender, and this is the town that he grew up in and hung around in that has influenced him to write some of those amazing songs with some of those heartbreaking lyrics. So today I want to walk the streets of this town, hopefully meet some of the people and try to understand what sort of town leaves such a deep mark on someone that drives them and inspires them to such success. This is North Shields. Welcome back, it's Eddie here from Tyneside Life, and yes, this is North Shields. So off the bat, I just need to say that I'm not from North Shields. Although I've been here a few times, I am certainly no expert on North Shields, so I'm not here trying to kind of talk as an authority on the place. This is a journey and visit of discovery for me as well. And also as well, it's not a fan pilgrimage of Sam Fender. I just want to have a wander around the town and find out a little bit more about it and find out what its unique quirks and personalities and characteristics are that has inspired him so much. So before we start having wandering around and meeting people and finding out about the place, I think we just, in broad terms, need to understand a little bit more about the town of North Shields. North Shields is perched on the north bank of the River Tyne, about 7 miles east of Newcastle, opposite South Shields and looking out at the brutal North Sea. This year marks its 800th year and the proud grit of a town that's seen it all. Its name comes from the old word shiel, meaning a temporary hut or shelter. Fitting, since it began as a cluster of fishermen's huts beneath the cliffs in the 1200s. Fishing, shipbuilding and coal export defined its people and its skyline. The famous fish quay, once a hive of sails, drunken sailors, smoke and shouts from returning trawlers, still stands today. Back in the 1800s, North Shields was renowned as the most drunken town in England, with over 200 pubs. With muggings, murders and prostitution, its dimly lit taverns were no place for the faint-hearted. Now it's a blend of working boats, fishmongers, restaurants and the sound of seagulls. The Shields ferry still crosses the Tyne, linking it to South Shields, just as generations of workers once did daily. Like many northern coastal towns, North Shields has faced hard times. Industrial decline, unemployment and social change has bitten deep into the people of this proud town. However, there's resilience in its cobbles and compassion in its community. As it celebrates 800 years, North Shields looks to the future with the same quiet strength that's carried it through centuries. Proud, weathered and unbreakably alive. Look past the boarded up shops and you'll find the shoots of new life breathing into the town with coffee shops and murals. Talking to Sam Fender, he's just recently won the Mercury Prize for the best album. His people watching album, well done for that. But he also received, for the band, £25,000 as part of that prize, and he's donated the entire lot to the Music Venues Trust, a trust that helps grassroots music venues, something that's very close to Sam Fender's heart. What an absolute ledge. So here I am, right in the, I suppose, the heart of North Shields. This is where you get the metro, just behind us there, and they've got a brand new transport hub as well. The town has received quite a lot of money, a few million actually, in regeneration, and that money's being put towards improving the town centre, improving all the public realms. And this is it, this is what it looks like. And I've just been chatting to a guy who says, mentioned Kev the Cobbler, top bloke in there apparently. And this is, just read a little sign there, Thomas Brown Square. And I think that's because there's a plaque here, this memorial to Thomas Brown, a North Shields boy who helped shorten World War II by capturing vital Enigma code books from a sinking German U-boat. over there, I don't know if you can see, just behind the metro there, that big tall building, that was the old cinema. And then I think it become a bingo hall, but it's all empty now. I want you to meet somebody. He's called Headstand Mike. And as part of the 800th anniversary of North Shields, he is doing 800 headstands in and around North Shields.
Hi, I'm Headstand Mike. I live in North Shields and I'm doing 800 headstands around North Shields to celebrate its birthday, its 800th birthday. I hang out with the I Love North Shields crew who are amazing, and I was out in the pub with them one night and after a few drinks decided that I would do that. Everyone thought it was a great idea, so went on with it. Decided like a couple of days later that it wasn't such a great idea because it's a lot of headstands. But yeah, everyone's got a hold of it now. It's on the national news. I can't stop. I have to do it.
So I've just bumped into somebody from the local brewery. How lucky is that?
Not very.
Oh, get in.
Not very lucky.
Right, who am I talking to?
Rob.
Rob and...
That's Rachael.
Oh, Rachel's a shy one.
Aye.
Aye. So you're from North Shields?
I am, aye.
Yeah.
I work at the Three Kings in Darwin Brewery, which is just along the road.
3 words, how would you describe North Shields?
Put us on the spot there, haven't you? Really good beer.
Can't think of any other reason to come to a place.
Aye.
And I'm outside now, a bar called Charlie's Bar. Looks like, one of these traditional character pubs that are still standing. I bet you that's got a few tales. Has it always been Charlie's Bar? The street I'm on now is called Bedford Street, the main thoroughfare. Hello, ladies. How are you? Yeah, I'll catch new fish with this, am I? Yeah, you look like a bunch of Rajis, mind. Yeah.
What is it?
This is a camera. I'm making a video about North Shields. You look lovely, man. You've had your hair done and all sorts.
I'll break your bloody
You, you'll break me bloody camera. I've had some threats in my time, but never.
No, I don't mean. I mean, my face will break.
Give over. Are you from North Shields? Yeah.
Born and bred.
Born and bred. What do you love about North Shields?
Not a lot lately because it's gone totally unrecognisable.
Now the pub just on my right here, the North Star, that used to be called the Pow Burn. I don't know if it was called by other names as well, but the Pow Burn. And I only learned when I was reading on the metro into North Shields what the Pow Burn actually was. I'm going to tell you a little bit later on. What I'm on now is called Savile Street, and I've seen some pictures of it, and back in the day this was like most high streets, in the Tyneside and around the country. It was a hive of activity. This is where you would come to do your shopping, but today a lot of it's all just run down and just a bit sad, and shutters down, premises closing, businesses wrapping up. It's such a shame because I bet you this place was heaving back in the day. So behind me here are 2 pubs called one's called the Ballarat and the other one is the Mariners Arms. I don't know why the Ballarat is called the Ballarats. Perhaps somebody can enlighten me, but apparently back in the day these were notorious pubs for bother. I'm sure they're... Hello, mate. Oh, I'm just filming a video about North Shields.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Are you from North Shields?
I am, yeah.
Yeah. What do you think of it?
I love it, yeah. I was born here. I grew up here on Motorway Kick Off. Yeah, it's lovely.
Hello. What's your name, mate?
Alex.
Alex. Pleased to meet you, Alex. What your dog called?
Pablo, the Frenchie.
Pablo the Frenchie.
Yeah, well, it's a Frenchie, is the breed, abbreviation for French Bulldog. His
Yeah,
name's
yeah.
Pablo.
Uh-huh.
Pablo Extra Bar.
And I like his jumper.
It's Barber. It's better than mine.
So you're a resident of North Shields?
No, I'm born and bred Tynemouth, around North Shields when I was younger, but I lived a bit further.
But you're familiar with the area?
Yes.
And you'll have
And
seen...
you. Yeah,
You'll have seen big changes around here?
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. What sort of changes? Good or bad?
Demographic, not for the better. No, I think it's like all places. It's a bit more run down. There doesn't seem to be the investment. I don't think people have the same standards as they used to, unfortunately. There's still, the odd private business.
So I'm still on Prudhoe Street, and just behind me here is the 4th Avenue and number 7 tattoo parlour. Apparently it comes highly recommended because Newcastle United footballers have been getting their tattoos in here. Dan Byrne, Joe Linton, I believe, and 1 or 2 others by a tattoo lady called Abby, I think it is. So they're obviously very good. They obviously come highly recommended. And it's here. Behind me here is the Harbour House, which has been converted into a creative space. There's 3 stories in there. It's really interesting when you get inside.
Hi, I'm Sky, the founder of Harbour House. It's a creative hub in the heart of North Shields. We have independent businesses. We have 13 independent businesses, everything from Northern Rye Bakery, 2E, to wellness with Re-Rise. We have Samantha Fortman, a brilliant photographer studio in here as well. We have the Uncommon Bar and Restaurant, and we have many more. So yeah, there's loads of people inside, so it's worth popping down.
Thanks, Sky, and he took us inside there for a little show around. What a fascinating, cool place it is in there. And we went up to the 3rd floor where the event space is. So I'm right beside the North Shields Ferry terminal point now, and this magnificent building behind me, Collingwood Mansions. This was a home built, I think, in the mid-1800s or so, as a home for sailors. But more recently, it was famous for being the Northumberland Arms, alternatively known as the Jungle. Obviously, I've never been here before, but apparently in North Shields, this was the place to be. This was a notorious place and very popular place to come and have a drink. Apparently there were animals' heads on the walls and there was fights most weekends. And now it's all been converted into flats. But back in the day, this was the spot. Now this whole area down in the lower town, along this street, right, going right along to the quay, this place was full of pubs and bars. Every 3rd premises was a bar, and it was absolutely jumping with sailors back in the day. You just can't imagine it now. It's all very tranquil and quiet and residential, and all that history has gone. This area where I am now is kind of the junction of Clive Street and Little Street. Just behind us there, and behind us going up the bank there's Bedford Street. Now, this whole area back in the day obviously was that hive of activities with pubs, etc. And there was a pub just on the corner of Bedford Street there called the 7 Stars. And this area, back in the day, was like a rabbit warren of narrow alleys and steep stairs that separated the higher parts of North Shields and the lower town here. Now, just behind us here, just further up the road, is the Prince of Wales Tavern, or the old wooden dolly, and you'll see that wooden carved dolly just outside of it there. Now the wooden dolly, the current version which we see there, is a replica of the one which stood here in the late 19th century. It's seen as a lucky charm. The original wooden dolly was the figurehead of a collier brig named the Alexander and Margaret, which was attacked and ransomed off the northeast coast by a privateer in 1781. Behind me here, this place, which looks like a garage, the Tynemouth Select Cars, is actually the North Shields Salt Market, and it's a really popular social venue around here. All sorts of activities. We've got a bar and a lovely cafe downstairs with leather chairs and sofas. Really cool place to hang out. And upstairs, I believe they have music venues as well. But next to it, there's a huge mural called Glory. It was created by a guy called Marcus Reed from Whitley Bay, and that particular picture forms the single cover of a song by a local band called Hector Gannett. What's really interesting as well about this, if you look at the word glory, it's made up of people's names, because the mural is a tribute to those from Shields and just outside who are now lost, particularly sailors who were lost at sea. But one of those names is a lady called Annie Orwin. If you remember the Sam Fender speech when he accepted the Mercury Prize for his album People Watching, Annie Orwin was a great friend of his and a mentor, and he dedicated his award to Annie, who was the inspiration behind the name and the title, People Watching. So while I'm on about murals, there's actually now a Sam Fender trail that you can do around North Shields, but also goes into Meadowell Estate in towards the west, but also into Tynemouth. And it's about 9 miles long. It'll take anywhere between 3 to 4 hours, depending on how many stops you do. You can find out more details of the trail and all the interesting spots along that trail in the latest I Love North Shields magazine, which is out on the 1st of December. So if you look for them on Facebook, you can pre-order your copy, because I think there's 64 pages of fascinating stuff and information, but also the route and all the interesting things of that Sam Fender trail here in North Shields.
Hello, I'm Carol Davison. I'm North Shields born and bred, and I'm one of the volunteers on a magazine called I Love North Shields. It's run by volunteers, and it's a lovely magazine, which we now produce every 3 months. And it's all about the wonderful things and people going on in our town. Get down to North Shields, pay us a visit, and just see how fantastic this place is. And if you want any information about what's going on in the town, take a look at our magazine or on the I Love North Shields website, and you can just see listings and just incredible things that you wouldn't believe were happening in our little town.
Now, most of you will recognise where I am. I'm obviously right on the River Tyne here. And behind me is, all of this is the fish quay area. This area here, this inlet with all the fishing boats and fishing trawlers. And I've only just discovered this morning on the metro, going back to the North Star pub that used to be called the Pow Burn. Relates to here, this inlet just behind me here, which is flanked by 2 lighthouses, one at sea level and one just up the bank there behind me. This is the entrance, the inlet to the Pow Burn stream or river, and it flows up behind me there. It's all culverted now and built on top of, but that's where it comes from. This is the inlet to the Pow Burn. And just imagine this area 150 years ago, when it was at the time when it was labelled Britain's most drunken town. All of this area would have been pub after tavern after tavern. It's all little cafes and restaurants now. It's all very quiet. Behind me here is another mural right in the heart of the fish quay here, and it's done by a local artist called Peter Manning, alternatively known as Prefab 77. I think this one's called Net Worth, and each mural tells its own story. If you look into the details of the artwork itself, I think there's about 8 murals around North Shields, 7 or 8, I'm not sure. And you can go on a mural trail around North Shields, separate to the Sam Fender trail. You can go around North Shields. I think it's about a 3-mile loop. It'll take you about an hour and a half or so, and see all these fascinating murals, these amazing pieces of artwork on the gable end of various buildings. And like I say, each one, if you look at the detail, each one tells its own particular story. So again, check it out in the I Love North Shields magazine. You'll find out all about it. And of course, you cannot come to North Shields and mention now and again Sam Fender without talking about this famous pub behind us here, the Low Lights Tavern, North Shields' oldest pub. Now, Sam Fender, he was working here behind the bar when he was just starting to get into music, practicing on his guitar, skiving off from working behind the bar now and again. And one of the pumps behind the bar there is the replica of the Brit Award that he won just a few years ago. And I believe I read that the Mercury Prize Award that he just won a couple of weeks ago, he's going to have a replica done of that, also to serve as a pump on another beer behind the bar. But what many of you might not know about the Low Lights Tavern is that down in the cellar, built into the wall, there's a safe going back to the 1800s. And that safe hasn't been opened, well, for at least 150 years to my knowledge. And nobody knows what's inside of it. Nobody's got a key. And I think Carol from I Love North Shields has been reaching out to see if somebody has the right equipment to try and get inside to see what sort of mysteries and treasures hide in that particular safe. Hello, mate. Yeah. Flat white, please. Thank you very much. So where I'm sat right now is on Tynemouth Road, right at one of the entrances to Northumberland Park, next to a little mobile coffee van called Afuera, of Spanish origin. And he's only been there for 3 weeks, I think. And this particular bench, there's a reason why I sat on it, is because there's a guy called Hilton Valentine, And he was in a group back in the 60s called the Animals. And I don't know if you remember a song called The House of the Rising Sun with that famous riff. Well, Hilton Valentine was one of the founding members and the guitarist of the Animals, and famous for that riff of that particular song. And the Animals were a huge inspiration to a singer-songwriter you might have heard of called Bruce Springsteen. And of course, the irony is that Sam Fender is a huge admirer and the influence of Bruce Springsteen on his music. And it's Hilton Valentine's widow, because sadly Hilton's passed away now, Jermaine, who bought the suspension dedicated to both North Shields and to the legacy of her late husband. So that's why I'm sat here. And I'm going to join me flat white. Like I say, this is my third day of filming, and I've had to rush a little bit because I've obviously leave the dogs in the house for 3 or 4 hours, so I need to get back. So I'm going to enjoy this, and I'll be heading back shortly. Behind me here is the King Street Social Club. Now, why I've stopped here is because, and I don't watch it, but apparently in an episode of Vera, some of the scenes were shot inside of the King Street Social Club. But for the particular episode, they renamed the club the Tring Street Social Club. There's a little white sign just to the left of the main door there, and they've left the sign up, the Tring Street Social Club, as a kind of a nod and a tip of the hat towards Vera in that particular episode. I love these old traditional bars, and there's another one just there, the Garrick's Head. I love the tiling on the outside of it. It reminds me a little bit of the Beehive in the big market. Now, I don't know because I don't come here, but I have a good authority that's really busy on a Monday night because it's karaoke night. Sorry guys, I've ran out of time. I need to get back for my dogs. I don't want to come into North Shields again for a 4th day to film because there's so much more I could have showed you. It's just such an interesting place. I think if you get nothing else out of this video, I'd say yes, just it's a bit tired and run down in parts, undoubtedly. But there's so much going on, there's so much regeneration, there's so much to be excited about, so much to see. The cafes, some of the restaurants, quirky, right down by the fish quay and the harbour. It's lovely, what a lovely place to visit. And I hope you found it interesting. Don't forget to check out I Love North Shields on their Facebook page and get that programme that they make. They're all volunteers, they don't get paid, it's not their job. The money they make from that goes right back into producing the magazine again. You know, they're not making money from it. And you'll find tons of information in there about the sort of things that are going on and the places you can visit. But yeah, I'm back at the Metro. Heading back off now. Give us a thumbs up if you like that, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And thank you for watching.